everybody, my name is Taylor Pari and I am so excited that you are here. Welcome to my channel where we discuss all things motherhood, entrepreneurship, self-care, you name it, we're talking about it. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share, and we are gonna go ahead and dive right into it. So first off, this is my very first video, guys, like ever on YouTube. I have been a Instagram girl from the beginning, like me and Instagram are like this. However, I will have to say the reason why I decided to go on the YouTube route as opposed to Instagram is because, as you can see, I'm a talker. I like to give a little bit of context, a lot of context to what I'm talking about, depending on what topic it is. I just feel like I can't do that on Instagram because it's hard for me to condense all of this information down to 30 seconds. It's just not about to do it for me. So here we are. So a lot of my friends know, like, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel and I finally have did it. So why did it take me so long? If I'm being completely honest, it's just fear. Fear of what are people gonna say? How am I gonna do? Is it gonna flop? How long is it gonna take me to grow? Do I have even time to do this? And I just kind of got over it. Like, we here. Hello. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, guys. So on my channel, you're going to get motherhood, you're going to get entrepreneurship, you're going to get self-care. And the reason why I picked those three topics is because, one, obviously, I am a mother. I'm a mother of two boys. Their names are Roman and Jackson. But also with being a mom, I am a entrepreneur. I co-own a wedding and event venue located in downtown Columbus, Ohio. Please check it below. We opened 2023, and we'll get into that topic a little bit later. And so balancing that along with, you know, being a mom, being a wife, working a full-time job still, guys. So I also work a full-time job for a creative agency where I do venue sourcing. So I help companies and other corporations, a lot of tech companies, search for their next location for their conference or convention. It's just hard sometimes to balance all of those things. And then sprinkle in there self-care. 2 years ago, I wasn't really doing any self-care. I wasn't going to get my hair done. I wasn't getting my nails done. I wasn't taking time, just a day off work, really, just to rest my body. No reason tied to it. I just wasn't doing it. I would make excuses of why I couldn't do certain things, and just out of just guilt of, you know, mom guilt, wife guilt. And it takes a toll on you mentally. I've become a lot more intentional about, you know, investing time into myself. Whether it's just, you know, a 15-minute, you know, just a woo-saw moment in the morning before the kids wake up and having my morning coffee out on the front porch, or if it's like, you know what, I'm about to go on a shopping spree. I'm going to set aside X amount of dollars every month and I'm going to go shopping. And another thing that I wanted to touch on was I had a friend that asked me a question. She asked, so what do you do besides work? Like, what do you do outside of your full-time job? What do you do outside of Genesis? What do you do? Netflix? I realized that I don't have any hobbies. I realized, like, I need to find something. Like, I need to have something else that I do that is not work related, that is not wife related, that is not mom related, something that is just for Taylor. This platform will give me an outlet to express the new things that I'm doing, that I'm discovering about myself, or just what I'm having fun with, and share with another mom in hopes that she can also find her thing as well. All right, y'all. So the title of this video today is I opened a wedding venue during the pandemic. Let me explain what happened here. Okay, so I have always had a desire and dream to open up a wedding and event venue. So in my last role at a hotel, I was the catering sales and event manager, and I would get calls all the time of, hey, I want to host a birthday party. I want to host an engagement party. Can we bring our own food? Can we bring our own, you know, vendor? Can we bring this in? Can we bring that in? And, you know, working in the hotels, I worked for a pretty prominent branded hotel, and that's just not our business model. We were geared towards conventions. They are still geared towards convention business, group business. I would constantly have to say, no, sorry, can't bring in your own food, can't bring in your own vendor, this vendor, that vendor, you know, you have to use our in-house caterer, blah, 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 blah. And I realized, like, there's really a market for this. Like, there's a lot of venues out there that really don't give people the flexibility to choose their vendors and specifically their caterers. I set out on a mission. I'm like, I want to do this. Now, let me remind you, these calls were coming in when I was working in the hotel in 2017, 2018, 2019. That's when that was happening. I had a vision, though, for a wedding and event venue that started back in like 2012, somewhere around there. So as you can see, like there was a span of time where this vision I had in my head was brewing, and I would have all these ideas. And so when I'm at work, like my brain would go in different direction because I'm just dreaming and scheming on like, how can I make this happen? And obviously in the role I was in at the time, that would have been considered a conflict of interest for me to open up a venue and work for the hotel at the same time. So all I was doing on the back end was just planning my dream. Fast forward, March 2020 came and the whole world shut down. Hotels shut down, venues shut down, restaurants shut down. Any place where you would gather shut down, as you all know. April 2020 comes around and, I have nothing but time on my hands as everybody else. And I was like, you know what? Why do I feel like God's leading me to open this venue? I called up a friend who is a wedding planner in Columbus, Ohio, and I said to her, hey, I think I found a space. Would you be interested in being our in-house wedding planner? Looking to outsource and partner up with a wedding planning company that could manage all of that. And so I called her up and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in, being the preferred wedding vendor? And she said, sure, let's get on the phone. Let's talk about it. So we get on the phone and the first thing out of her mouth is, hey, so before we kind of dive into this conversation, I have to tell you something. What is it? Like, now I'm getting nervous because what you mean you gotta tell me something? We ain't really talked like that in a minute. What you gotta say? She goes, I'm actually considering opening a wedding venue myself. Why don't we just do it together? I took 2 weeks to pray about it. She's just like, okay, well, let me know. And I remember being so nervous because you just hear horror stories about friends going into business, because the person that I was having these conversations with, we were mutual friends. I wouldn't say we were best friends, but we were mutual friends. Like, we always kept in touch over the years. We met through mutual people. And so we worked in the same industry. And so I knew her pretty well, but not like this. Like, I gotta pray about this. And because it had been a dream of mine for 7-8 years, and then someone coming in and saying, hey, let's do it together, it's a little frightening. I wasn't frightened with her. I was frightened by the situation. I asked a couple, friends. I asked my husband, I asked my mom about it. And then I got to a mentor and I said, what do you think? Like, should I go into this endeavor? And she asked me the most magical question I will never forget. She said, would you rather her be your competitor or your partner? Well, amen. And I called her up and I said, all right, let's do it. And that's how the venue came to life. Looking back, I would never, ever, ever have been able to do what we've done solo. And she feels the same way. It was a huge endeavor, and we're going to talk about that, just the ins and outs of owning a brick and mortar in a downtown market as a minority in a historical building, mind you, during a pandemic. I'm going to tell you right now, this message right here that I'm about to say is for whoever is on the fence about your business and the timing of it. God has a way of orchestrating things where it does not make sense to the naked eye. Let me tell you guys, in March 2020, I was furloughed from my job. My husband also lost his job. I decided I'm going to open a venue in the middle of a pandemic while the other wedding venues are shutting their doors left and right because they cannot have weddings. And here I am like, yeah, we're going to open a wedding venue. That does not make sense. And at the time, no one knew how long COVID was going to last. For a while, people were thinking, oh, it'll be a few months, and then it turned into a year, and then it turned into 2 years. And I tell you that if you lean into God and you are very obedient to what he's telling you to do, you will see the fruits of your labor. You just have to trust the process. It doesn't always look how it should, but it's going to be how it should. We found our space in July of 2020. We signed a letter of intent in August 2020. We got the first draft of the lease in November 2020. We did not sign anything because of lease negotiations until April 2021. We did not start any kind of demolition until December 21. They did a little bit of demo in 21, but they didn't really do a ton of it. Fast forward to November 2022. We are making progress. Things are moving. We had new construction managers that came into place, and we're dealing with a historical building that used state tax credits. And so when that happens, you're dealing with government, and you already know how government is with anything else. They're gonna take their time. There was a lot of waiting involved. There was a lot of permitting involved. Mind you, we're still in COVID. With COVID, there's delays. There's the cost of wood rising, because this is the same time the housing industry just exploded. And so the cost of wood and all of the materials and labor, that went up through the roof. All of those things were playing a part into our build out. We worked with a minority-owned, well-known architecture company that pretty much was our saving grace, because this is not our first rodeo within the events industry at all. However, it was our first time doing this magnitude of a project. For us, again, I ain't got no job. Also, I forgot to mention, in September of 2020, just a few short months after we found this space and we decided to move forward with the letter of intent, we had already applied for a business loan. We had gotten approved for the business loan. I find out that I'm pregnant with my second child. And I find out that I'm pregnant with my second child on my first child's first birthday party. So yes, to the outside person looking in, this looks like a hot mess. Like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And I remember that this was the time that although things seemed to be falling apart, I had so much peace. During this time, I was in a lot of prayer and asking God for not only wisdom, but discernment. I know that I came out of the pandemic feeling motivated, renewed. I felt confident. I had peace. I had joy. And that's when I know it was God, because the outside looking in, again, this looks like a hot mess. What is happening? What is happening? We went through so many inspections: health inspection, liquor inspection, electrical inspection, plumbing inspection, so many inspections that we had to go through. And when things weren't right, we had to fix it. And then we had to wait another week in order to have the inspector come back out. It was all of that. And so it took a lot of patience. Finally opened our doors in May of 2023 and have been open ever since, and booking and being busy. We're going to dive a lot into just what it's like to be not only just balancing the whole aspect of motherhood and entrepreneurship, but what goes into it. During the pandemic, what we also realized was that there was a lot of small businesses that were birthed, and they, specifically caterers, don't really have a platform to really showcase their craft, because if you're going to a hotel or a convention center or another just unique venue, a lot of times they have their preferred caterer list, and it's very hard to get on that list. We wanted to make sure that we had an open vendor policy. Your photographers, your videographers, your caterers, your florists. We did not want to be exclusive to anyone. There should be some options available for people who are trying to get their foot in the door. So if you're someone in the industry or you've had a dream of opening up your own venue for years and you're just not really sure where to start in the comments. Drop a comment, drop your questions, and I would love to answer those. This is our first go around. We learned so much. And one thing that I want you all to take away, if you're watching this and you do want to open your own venue, do it the right way. Do not take shortcuts. And what I mean by that is making sure you're getting registered as an LLC or a partnership, or however you want to structure your business, making sure that you get an attorney, making sure that you get insurance on your business, making sure that you have an accountant. Your books are set up from the beginning. Like, do things the right way. Do not skip corners, especially in the venue or any brick and mortar establishment. You don't want to do that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to play with nobody's IRS, and you definitely don't want to play with insurance. All right, y'all. So I told you I was long-winded. I can't just do them 30-second videos. So you guys are going to get a lot more from me. So stick around. Make sure that you like this video, you share it, you subscribe. And don't forget, if you have questions about owning a brick and mortar or a wedding and event venue, drop them below. I want to answer them. I'll do a Q&A session if you guys want to see something like that. So until next time, see you guys. Bye.